Hello and welcome back everyone to this live demo session on SAP ABAP on HANA come S4 HANA technical training with me Anubhav. In our today's live demo session, we are going to look at the core capabilities of S4 HANA system. We will take a practical use case and follow through the use case to develop a end-to-end application to display the data from SAP S4 HANA. This is a live training. Today is our first session of this live training on SAP ABAP on HANA come S4 HANA technical training. This training is designed for everyone who is willing to venture into the technical space of SAP S4 HANA. Let's talk about the agenda of today's demo. We will start first understanding who is this training for. Are you the right person to take this training? How can it help you in your current job profile? Then we will discuss about the overview of this course. What can you expect in the next 40 hours of this entire training? Followed by that, we have our demo use case, and then we will have some of the FAQs, and finally, we will have live question answers in this demo session. Kindly check the description of this video to also join in the live telecast on our GTM tool so that you can also be able to participate in live question and answers. Having said that, let's understand who is this training for. Can you map this training for your current job requirements to upskill yourself and position yourself into a next place which is going to give you better growth perspective? So if you are working like a Scrum professional like Georgia, who would like to understand HANA-based development projects and estimate for better tomorrow, this training is going to help you. If you are working like Austin Ross, for any SAP consultant working in the field of SAP, would like to learn from scratch how to build end-to-end applications and Fury applications on top of CDS views and exploit the full potential of SAP HANA's computational power, this training is going to help you. If you are working like an ABAP consultant today in industry like Robin, Sue, and would like to embrace the change in the technology and make your program run faster and better on top of HANA, including the custom code conversion if your company is converging to S4 HANA, this training is also going to help you. Finally, if you're working like Mary, who is a BW consultant, working today on PEX queries and BW reports, but your company have discontinued the BW system, and going forward, you would have to use the SAP S4 HANA system as the standard system for data analytics. This training is also going to help you to learn how to build analytical CDS views, which can run on any OLAP tools, including SAP Analytics Cloud. So this is the background. You can map yourself in one of the personas for these developers and consultants. And then if any one of them maps to your current job profile or to be the job profile, this training is suitable for you. So what do you expect in the next 40 hours of this training? In this 40 hours, we will start first with the new ABAP syntax and tools. Before we start any technology, we need to learn about the tooling, the tools which we will be using to use the technology. For example, there are a lot of new tools like ABAP Development Tool on Eclipse, HANA Studio, Business Application Studio. All these tools we will be learning and setting up in our local machine so that we can work with SAP S4 HANA system. This training is designed for absolute beginner who have no idea of HANA, no idea of the latest tooling. This training is going to help you. You will learn the evolution of SAP NetWeaver with the ABAP syntax, SQL syntax, frameworks like BOPF, IDAN for Z-Search. In the phase 2, we will learn about S4 HANA. We will learn how can you migrate your custom code developed over years in your company when your company decides to move to S4 HANA. So when you migrate or when you converge your system to HANA or S4 HANA, how is it going to help you to convert your code which can run faster and better on S4 HANA? We will utilize the power of latest technologies like CDS views, virtual data modeling (VDM), including migration of custom code conversion. In the next phase, we will learn about HANA and its architecture. As I mentioned, this is a course for absolute beginner who have never worked on HANA. We will cover the core architecture of HANA, understand how ABAP meets HANA, the different development tools like Business Application Studio, ABAP development tools, and HANA Studio. Finally, you will learn how to build end-to-end HANA optimized applications on top of S/4HANA using the latest concepts like CDS, AMDP, OData, and Fury. You will build amazing Fury apps as part of this training with practical use cases and demo scenarios so that you can utilize this knowledge practically in your company for both data analytics as well as transactional applications. Moving on, what can you expect in today's demo session? So in today's demo session, first we will start our development tool, which is called as ADT, in short, ABAP Development Tool on Eclipse. Then we will go into building our first CDS view. We will learn about annotations with CDS views. Followed by that, we will create a OData service. And then we will build an analytical report using S/4HANA Embedded Analytics. I would like to give a disclaimer here that you are absolutely beginner to S/4HANA. Maybe some parts of today's demo session you might not be able to understand because there is a lot of background work I need to do in the training to make you guys comfortable with the core concepts. But just enjoy the show and try to understand that how we begin our development and how do we end coming up with an end-to-end application. It is okay if you not understand or digest the technical stuff which we discuss in the demo, but as a trainer, it is my duty to give you one end-to-end use case flow. Having said that, let's begin with our use case for today. Inflation is one of the biggest problems today for most of the countries. This demo use case showcases the development of a Fury application report which utilizes the inflation data. We will analyze and compare inflation data trends across different countries. The purpose of this application, which we will develop in this demo today, is to provide our users a comprehensive and interactive platform to explore inflation rates. We will also learn how to slice and dice the data and identify hidden patterns and make data-driven decisions using the dashboard which we prepare. So for that, what will be the process? So first we begin with the development tool. Like in ABAP, when you start with the development, you always start with SAP GUI. But now we do not use SAP GUI these days for developing S/4HANA applications. Use a tool called ABAP Development Tool on Eclipse. This tool is free, and in my next episode tomorrow, I will show you how to set up this tool free of cost in your laptop. No matter which country, which company you work for, you will be able to easily set up with my instructions this tool free of cost in your laptop. This we will discuss tomorrow. But today, for the demonstration, I have already set up this tool in my computer. I will open the development tool and create our CDS view. So let's understand what is a CDS view in a nutshell. So let's talk about CDS view. If CDS view is nothing but it's a CDS or CDS stands for Core Data and Services. It is the new technique in S/4HANA to build application. So Core Data and Services are extension of OpenSQL in ABAP. So when it comes to an SAP system, you write most of the time queries to fetch the data in an optimum manner from their database. Instead of writing a query now, we will be writing a CDS. Then you may ask, Anubhav, what's the benefit? Because the benefit here is the CDS provides a semantically rich data model. Now this word is very important, semantically rich, which means it consists of something called annotations. So you will see it in a minute when I create a CDS view. We write lots of annotations which will help us to build our application, and our application will automatically react based on these annotations. So let's create a simple CDS view on top of our inflation data. So to begin with our use case, we will utilize this table which I've already created in my system for inflation data of multiple years of different countries. So it contains Asian countries with year 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24 forecast data for different countries in Asian region. Different countries might include like Georgia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, China, India, Hong Kong, Mongolia, and so on and so forth. I will be utilizing this information with the inflation rate percentage to build a amazing application in the next 30 minutes. I will allow you to ask questions once I'm through with the demo. So let's go ahead and create our CDS view for that. So instead of writing a query, I'm going to create now a core data and service artifact called CDS view. So let's search for core data and services. Click on next, and I will provide here the name Z S4 HANA underscore inflation. So inflation CDS view. Next. And what SAP does in this tool is it provides me a beautiful template to choose from. I can choose a template to create my view. I select the template. It's the skeleton. So we are living in 21st century where the tools are becoming more and more powerful day by day. So here I would get an opportunity to basically generate the basic skeleton of a CDS view. So you can notice that the CDS view starts with @. This is what exactly I was talking in the slide, that CDS views are basically semantically rich data model. They provide annotations, and these annotations have special significance. Just like in a program, you write syntax which has special significance. Here, these annotations also plays a critical role. They will instruct the database as well as our user interface to drive the functionality in a certain way. So what happens when you activate as view? It creates a view inside your database. So database we will use here is the HANA database. So HANA is a in-memory database which we use. To read the data in an optimum manner from HANA, we create CDS view. So what will be the view which gets created in the HANA? That view name you need to give here in the first annotation. So computer is asking me, what will be the name of the view shall I create in HANA? So we usually put the same name out underscore. So now after activation, a view gets created in the database with this name. Then it has other annotations related to compare filter, preserve key, and authority checks, which we will discuss in our episode number 11 in detail. For time being, I'll just proceed with this basic skeleton. I will now see the syntax define view as select from your database table name. Wow. So it's just like a select query. So let's copy the database table name, which has the data, and I will just control space to include all the fields of my table. So this is my fields of all the fields of my database table from inflation data. So that's it. Congratulations. You just created your first CDS view. But that's not all. We need to now go ahead and specify what is exactly the important measure for the inflation data. So you know that this inflation number is an important measure or important KPI for the purpose of our business. So we need to come here and put a special annotation called default aggregation. And I can put here hashtag sum. This will confirm or it will mark the inflation number for a particular country as an important measure. Apart from that, we will also put another annotation to create a service. So we call it as OData publish equals to true. Now, what is this service or what is a OData service? So guys, when it comes to building applications, we would now want to build applications which will run on different devices like mobile phone, tablet, or desktop. So eventually you have something called a browser, just like you open Facebook, Twitter, they all run on browser. So inside a browser, we are going to run our application in the browser. And we do have the SAP system, which is in this case S4 HANA. So we want to expose the data to the browser. Now, browser cannot fire direct select query to the S4HANA system to access this data. Now, we need something called a web service. Yeah, we need a web service which can expose this data to the browser. And that is why we use OData. So OData is nothing but it's a web service which we can create quite easily to expose the data from our SAP system to the browser. And this is where our Fiori application runs. So if you are new to Fiori, don't worry. We will cover introduction of Fiori for you. It's the new UI technology, which is a successor of SAP GUI, WebDim Pro, and BSP. So without any prior knowledge of Fiori, you will all be able to build amazing applications towards the end of this training. So now we would need to create this service. So to create this service, we simply go back and put a annotation called OData publish equal to true. That's all. I will now activate, and we will also mark this view as of type cube. So we mark it as a cube type. A cube is basically equivalent of a DSO in BW system. Basically, the purpose of the cube is to aggregate the data. Yeah. So these are the annotations we mark. And now what computer does, it generates a service automatically out of my CDS view. So you can actually go ahead and see the CDS view service over here. You can see this is the name of the service. I can copy. And now I can register this OData service in the system. To register this, we need to go to GUI and register this OData service in the system using a transaction code called /iwfnd/main service. This is the T code we can use to register our service. We click on add service and we register the service. So it's a one-time process. So by far, we have created this service and now I am just registering it. So once you register the service, now your data will be exposed over the internet, over the browser. Yes, you can also test the service by going to this Eclipse tool, and we have this OData exposure to click open, and that way you can also check and test your service quite easily and quickly. So you can see when I open, I have got my service which is showing me all the data. Yes, so I can just hit this data set and you can see all the data of inflation data is now exposed out on the browser, which means a Fiori application can consume this data. So just to quickly summarize what we did, step number one, we logged into our SAP system using a new tool called ADD. Its installation I will show you in the next class. Then we created a very simple CDS view, which is equivalent of a select query. We annotated the CDS view with annotation to expose OData service. Then we registered our OData service, and our final step is to go ahead and create a application which can display this information to the user. So let me go ahead now and I'm going to go to the next tool, which is called Business Application Studio tool. This tool is predominantly used to build Fiori applications. So I will also show you how to set up this tool in your own system free of cost in our unit number 7. But for today, as it's a demo, I have already prepared my environment and connected this environment to my SAP system so that I can give you this end-to-end demo. So this is how the next tool or Business Application Studio tool look like, which is used to build Fiori applications. So don't worry if you never heard about Fiori, never worked on Fiori. This training is designed in such a way that an absolute beginner can also build end-to-end Fiori apps with us. So let's start creating an application using a template. A template is nothing but it's a skeleton which will automatically generate an application for us. So we want to build a Fiori application, and now we can choose, I want to build a analytic list page Fiori application. And at this point of time, system is asking us to choose the data source. As I mentioned, that the Business Application Studio tool is running independently of your SAP system, but now we need to connect this tool to our system to fetch the data from the service. As I mentioned just now, that the only way to expose data from your SAP system to the outside world is with the help of the services. So just now we created a service with the OData annotation, and I can consume now this particular service in the BAS tool, in the Business Application Studio tool. So I have already created this connection. I will also teach you how to do this connection as part of our training in unit number 10. So you all will be able to do practical exercises with the help of our end-to-end training. We'll paste the service name over here. And once the service name is picked up, you can see it's now available in the Business Application Studio tool. In our unit number 10, I will show you the connectivity of this BAS tool with S4HANA system also. As I mentioned, it's a course designed for absolute beginner. We will be learning all these tools, their setup, their connectivity possibilities with our S4 system. We will move on now to the next step and choose our entity set. We want to build a table of type grid table. We do not allow multi-select. So you see all of this is part of a template. The template will automatically generate the entire application for us out of the box. So now I can just give the name of the project which I would like to create. Dashboard. We can specify the application title. Let's give it an inflation dashboard. And then we can click on finish button to get the application generated for us. As a result of that, a application will get created out of the box. And you see how easy it was to build your first Fiori application, which can run on all the devices, be it mobile, tablet, or desktop. Now you can see the application would have got generated, and we can open the project folder to see this generated application. So you see we get a message also to say open folder, yes. And you will see the generated application on the next refresh. There you go. So this is the generated application, and it's the time to test this app. For that, we need to press F1 key and open application info. The application info will allow you to perform multiple tasks in a fully automated way without writing a single line of code to quickly also test our app. So let's preview and start the app. So without having any prior knowledge of SAP Fiori, you were able to create a Fiori app. So step 1, we open the dev tool. Step 2, we create CDS view. Step 3, we went ahead and created a OData service and registered the same. Step 4, we generated the Fiori app in the Business Application Studio. You can see now I am just going ahead to test my application. Just launching up the application over here. Yes. And we click the go button. Of course, you see there is nothing coming up because we didn't choose the columns we want to display. So I can just choose some columns to display the data. And you will see the data will pop up here without writing a select query. This is the inflation data of the country. Now I can notice that some of the labels are not okay. So we can fix this issue by adding annotations. In addition to that, I would like to display a chart of inflation over here over the years. Yes. To be able to do both of this, we can switch over back. And first of all, I will create a chart. So for that, again, we use a chart annotation. In school days, if you remember, we used to create chart. Every chart consists of x-axis and y-axis. On x-axis, we put category. And on y-axis, we put values. For example, if I want to plot a chart for the marks of a student, we put math, English, social science, and on y-axis you will see the value or the score which they did. This category in SAP is called dimension, and this value in SAP is called measure. So I would now like to show the total inflation per country. So my country will be the dimension and my values will be the inflation. So let's do that. So I specify the dimension attributes. Dimension name is going to be the country. I can put the country subregion number. So let me also check back what gives me the country name. So it is the regional member. So that is correct. This is going to be my x-axis as a category. I specify that this itself is represented as a dimension. So regional member is my dimension property. I'll also specify measure. And here we specify the inflation as the measure. And we specify the measure attributes with the measure as inflation and role as x as a data point. So this will automatically print a chart. What will be the chart type? I want the chart type to be a column chart. I will explain all of these annotations in detail in unit number 13, 14, 15, and 16. But for time being, you can understand that we are plotting a chart. Also, we specify proper labels. So let's give the end user text label annotation and say this is the country name. This is the year inflation was recorded. This is the inflation number itself. This is the sub-region. And finally, we have the country code. That will fix also the label issue on the application. I would like to also bring, when applications start, automatically the data displaying in the table. So we can add another annotation called line item with position 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So these will be my columns of the table, which will come automatically. That's it. That is why we call CDS as semantically rich data model. I can switch over back to the app and refresh. Since we have now added the annotations will take their effect on the Fury application. So literally zero coding knowledge required for Fury app. You can put everything in CDS and it will auto-generate application code for you. Wow. Look at that now, the labels are fixed. There is the country, year, inflation, and sub-region. When you hit the go button, you will see a analytical report will appear with a chart. Wow. Cool. Now, the another interesting part, which is out of the box, is you can just go ahead and choose a country of your choice, and the system will filter the data in the table accordingly. You can also change the chart type at runtime. User can change that. You don't need to change the code for that. So I want to show a donut chart for all the Asian countries with their inflation. So I can notice the highest inflation is in Uzbekistan. Then we have Turkmenistan, then other countries. I would like to now filter the data based on a click. So basically this is called slicing and dicing. So if I'm interested to look at the total inflation year on year in Georgia, I can click Georgia and you can see it is showing me the inflation graph of Georgia 3%, 5%, 5%, 10%, 12%, 6%, 4%. So that is the inflation chart of Georgia with the forecast. So this kind of slicing and dicing is possible with this kind of analytical report. Within 30 minutes of time, we could build such an amazing application. You can assume what will happen after you complete this 40 hour of training with us, with all the basics, of course. Moving on, let's move ahead to some of the frequently asked questions. Do I need to have prior knowledge of HANA? No, as I mentioned, zero knowledge of HANA. Yes, we will cover everything for you as part of this course, including HANA Foundation. How much ABAP knowledge is required for this training? So only basic ABAP is required, that too only first 30% of the course. If you are comfortable with data dictionary, internal table, basic syntax and function module, more than enough. And that too only first 30% of the course. Remaining 70% of the course is designed generically without any ABAP knowledge. I am a BW or PI consultant. Can I also learn S4 and ABAP on HANA? Yes. And you must learn that because nowadays companies are asking you to build serious view for S4 HANA embedded analytics. And it is must have knowledge for all of you. How much deep knowledge of OOPS ABAP is required? Not much. Very basic. If you know what is a class interface, that's it. You don't need to have any OOPS ABAP knowledge also. What about server access for practice? So we do have also a arrangement for all of you. We can arrange a server access where you can practice and you can access our server from any country for an end-to-end development experience. I will talk about server access in our next unit so that you can all go hand-to-hand with hands-on exercises as part of this course. Which version of S4HANA are we going to learn? We will be using HANA latest 2.0 with ABA layer with S4HANA 2021 on-premise version. How would this course, how much time is we going to spend on CDS view? So we will spend almost 40 to 45% time on CDS view, as majority of you are predominantly planning to join this training because you want to learn CDS view. Do I need any prior OData service experience to learn this training? No. There is no OData experience or prior knowledge of OData is required, guys, to learn this course. Zero knowledge, zero prerequisite. We will cover everything you need as part of this course. What tools do I need to practice in this course? So we will use ADT tool, BAS tool. I will be covering setting up this tool in the next class. So tomorrow's session, stay tuned. I will show you how to set up these tools in your own system. So finally, how to join this course? So to join this course, the steps are very simple. Just email us on contact@anubhavtrainings.com to subscribe for this training. If you already subscribed, just wait for the email. My team is working day and night, 24/7 to support you, to get you all the necessary details to join the classes on regular basis. Having said that, thank you so much for such an interesting and amazing demo today with us. I'll catch you up tomorrow at the same time, same place, in this live training session of SAP ABAP on HANA come S4 HANA. With that, Anubhav signing out. Thank you so much once again and see you tomorrow.